Hey everyone, welcome back into the channel, welcome back to the fruit farm, and today we're going to be doing another card study, another card review. Today we are going to be going over the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands. I have here selected the Three of Wands that I have for 3 individual decks. We have here from a Mystical Manga Tarot. This is a deck that comes very intuitively easy for me to understand. We have here from the Crystal Visions deck, we have a 3 of Wands, and then we also have a 3 of Wands from a new deck that we have acquired, which we have a review coming up soon. And this is from the Dark Mansions deck. So these are the cards that we're looking at right now in terms of that. And so before we analyze what the cards mean, we want to take a look at the actual artwork and seeing if there's anything intuitively that comes to us that helps us understand what these cards are. The main point of tarot, and this is something that I always want to emphasize, is that tarot is mostly based on your intuition, because everyone can learn all the meanings of all the cards. But at the end, based on your intuition of maybe what you're getting from the card and its artwork, it can tell you a lot more than just reading the card just off from the meaning of the text. So first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go through what we are feeling, or at least my first initial impressions when it comes to just looking at the cards themselves and what do they mean. So from what we have here from a Mystical Manga Tarot, we have here somebody who has their back turned away from us, and they're looking out into the sunset. This is someone who is looking out, the sun is setting. They're kind of holding on to one of the wands, which I think it's somewhat important, because it could be that maybe they're trying to carry something forward with them, or they're trying to look on to something new because they're trying to look into the horizon and down into the sunset. So that's the initial impressions that I'm getting from this. This person doesn't seem like someone who's agitated, someone who's running away. This is someone who seems to be looking forward to whatever is going to happen, or from this sunset that is occurring, which could mean maybe an end of a chapter, or maybe something closing, something just kind of settling, and then looking onto it, or looking forward away from it, because we are seeing that sunset in the distance. Here in the Crystal Visions Tarot, from here we do have the 3 wands that we have here. We get a little bit of a depiction where we have a road coming down here, and then they have this crystal ball, which seems to be adding clarity to a situation, or perhaps to the thing that they're looking onto. We still have the same depiction of a sunset from what I'm getting here. And we also have an addition of 2 animals. We have a little bit of like a bobcat, or a female lion, and a little young, dragon youngling. So what this could be interpreting to me, because these 2 characteristics are really young, it could interpret more into maybe something new, or maybe looking forward to something new. With the crystal ball shining, it could be adding illumination, maybe just something more of a clear path, especially because we have the road. This looks like a road to me. It could be like a little river as well, but it's almost looking forward with clarity of maybe something new. And then because we have the sunset here, maybe still giving that impression of, you know, maybe the closing or the ending of something, and then moving on to the forward of something new. Here with the Dark Mansions, from what we see here in terms of the card. Oh, by the way, all 3 of them have all characters facing away from us. So this could be maybe having somebody move on to the next thing. It's something that they're turning away from, something that they're moving away from. And then we have here with the 3 of Wands, we have little road signs here of maybe a direction that they want to take. It looks like they're trying to wave goodbye to one direction, maybe heading into another one. They have their luggages, so maybe this could indicate maybe going on a trip of sorts, or taking all their belongings and anything that they have to do with a situation, and just either it could be leaving them behind because you have the luggage here, or they could be carrying it over to the next phase of where they're trying to go, especially because we also have a little wagon that we have here. I don't know what they're called, but with the horse and the chariot, of whether, you know, they're traveling. So so to me it's expressing some sort of movement, a movement away from something, especially because we have a little handkerchief being held by her hand, which could be a waving goodbye, is an end of something, We're not getting the depiction of a sunset here, so maybe we're getting that instead through the little handkerchief of waving goodbye to something out. So based on these three different cards and the initial impressions that I'm getting, this could possibly mean moving on into a new part of your life or a new path in your road in the chapter of your life where we're trying to move away, maybe turn our backs away from things that we may be over or done with, and just kind of having that action of going on to the next thing, waving goodbye to the thing that we are leaving behind. So that's just initial impressions, and then when we want to get into the actual card text itself, I have this little handy book. This is the book that I'll be using for all my card reviews for this first time around. Is the Little Book of Tarot by Barbara Moore. She is really great and makes tarot explained so easy for everybody. And with this, we have the Three of Wands right here. And with the Three of Wands, we have a different depiction here of a different card, very similar to maybe some things that we were already looking at, except this is more depicted in like a moonlight or like in a nighttime kind of scenario compared to the other three that we had. And then I'll just be reading off from the text that we have here, which says Three of Wands. The key words: optimism, expectation, culmination, the law of attraction, return on investment. And it says, the Three of Wands invites you to put your plans into motion. Make your investments, put in the orders, open up shop. This card involves a lot of activity, but that's the easy part. The image shows the hard part, waiting. After all you've done, all you can do, you have to wait for the ship to come in. Your attitude while waiting matters. Wands are about confidence, so shine that out into the world and attract the best possible result. And then for a tarot tip, it says telling a story. Reading tarot is more than memorizing individual card meanings. Practice reading the cards as a group. One way is to lay out the ace through the 10 of a suit. Look at the images and see how one relates to the next and how together they tell a unified story. You can begin with the Wands since you now already have a head start on the Ace, 2 and 3. And then for instant answers, it says keep your eyes peeled. Something you work for is bearing fruit. Based on the card text of what we're getting here, is that this is more of a we've done a lot of work, so now we just kind of have to wait for the fruits to come back to us, remaining optimistic, the ending of something that we have already put a lot of work in, and then maybe seeing the return of that investment. The law of attraction, so whatever you put out into the world is exactly what you're going to get back in return. So I find that really interesting how with the three different pictures, we were kind of getting that culmination, that ending with the sunsets, maybe getting more clarity to something that happened. And with the younglings that were here of the young animals, it was like the birthing of something new. So just kind of having that textual clarity into what we're looking at can just add a lot more of a perspective into the card meaning. With that said, now that we have this all into an upright position, you know, if we were to have these cards reversed, and this is the note that I want to have you put work and thought into, is that if you do a card reading where you do a tarots where you do reverse interpretations, what could that mean for you in terms of what we just learned? What could that mean if you put this paired up with other cards? That could happen. You know, maybe these are things that we want to put a lot of more thought into, and maybe some things that we want to really think about and maybe study and analyze. And as we do more tarot readings, you'll be able to understand a little bit more of maybe how these cards come into play and how those specific cards have a more deeper meaning to you when you do your readings. So this is everything that I have for today in terms of the Three of Wands. I really appreciate you taking this time to view this video. If you really like or maybe have an extra insight that you would like to share, leave that in the comment below. And if you're really liking the tarot contents that we are sharing here today and anything that comes up in the future, feel free to hit the subscription button and stay informed in anything that we have coming up. So in the meantime, stay fresh.